Welcome to our
channel. We're back this week with a brand new episodes on the Hard Ones pod with who's in the house?
Sharlyne is here.
Kenrick is here.
Jade is here.
I'm here.
And unfortunately, Josh couldn't join us today.
Because
but
Josh
that's
is
okay.
young and he have things to do.
He has other commitments and we get it. But that's cool. So guys,
we miss him.
We do. We always miss him. We always miss him. Josh tends to be my buffer with Kenrick.
Seeing some.
What let us do? What?
Jade understands. Jade, you understand,
Jade
right?
Understand?
Do because I enjoy him, but I get that.
Your buffer. What I mean.
So guys, how has your week been?
My week has been good. I've been trying to figure out, for real. I've been trying to figure out what does buffer mean. I was joking, but we can move on.
How was your week?
My week?
Yeah.
My week was productive and hard. The things I was doing this week was more things I could see the results of. So it was easier because I could just do and see what I was doing. It's kind of different from like doing music where you have to do the creation, do the writing, do everything, put it together, mix it, master it, and then put it out, and then see how people respond to it, or people respond to it.
But like, as you say that, I think this week I told Kenrick, like, a lot of doors are going to start opening.
And that's on period.
And today, a song we did like 3 months ago, someone bought it.
Oh, nice.
And then they just messaged me on Instagram, Kenrick, and they say, the dude who did the production on this song, is he available so we can talk? Because I definitely want to work with him again.
Ooh.
This person's from Canada, yeah. So the reggae song we did, she wants it like she wants the song. Yeah, so she bought the lyrics, so now she actually wants the song. That's what I was messaging you to tell you. And then somebody else messaged and they asked for another song. So they have 2 different songs. They said pick one, send them a proposal, and we got that. So it's like, even as you're saying about music, we had like a couple of victories just today.
Yeah, nice. Congratulations,
1, 2, 3,
guys.
one behind the other. So
that's really cool.
I am building a cabin right now. And
yeah.
I had one big post. I had a post.
That post from last episode, huh?
Same post?
You remember you was asking for help moving posts last time?
Yeah, you did.
For real?
Yeah.
Damn, I was desperate. But the post, we move it today.
You see, God and say your prayer, you ask for help and you get help.
Yeah, I got 3 other fellas to help me put up that one post. Can you imagine that?
Thanks, guys, for helping Kenrick.
Yeah, thank you. That's
I can name them, right?
Yeah,
this
sure.
Juanito Harris.
Juanito.
Is his name. Juanito Harris. And Joseph Benjamin Jr. and Senior.
Oh, nice. Wow. That's cool.
Thanks, guys, for helping Kenrick with the posts.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because now I can level my house properly and start running my rafters and shit and stuff. I can say shit?
Yeah, you can say shit.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so how has my week been?
Wow. Yes, I'm asking.
Okay.
You ask don't feel bad. How was your week, Sharlyne? Sharlyne.
Yes, Kenrick.
Watch out, Ashy, my food. Watch it. You call your my food come out.
Oh, whoa.
No, I don't mean call people. I mean in the core.
In the quarry, and call you have plenty of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, talk.
My week was okay, My week was okay. I had some moments, some aha moments this week. And it was just like, okay. Yeah, accountability. And I think I was in a better place to receive it. That self-reflection, and you're like, Sharlyne, this happened, like accept your role in it and all of that. So I mean, anytime that can happen, it's a good time
It doesn't
in
feel
my
nice all the
mind.
time.
No, no, it's not, But if it forces me to make a change, and because I mean, I cannot keep doing the same thing expecting different results,
Jesus.
you know? And if I'm going to be honest, in certain aspects, I have been doing that a lot. I wonder why nothing changes. I keep doing the same thing. So that's like aha moment. I'm hoping I can act on it and do what needs to be done while at the same time not being so hard on myself. Like, Sean, but you stupid. You know?
Don't speak
Yeah.
like that about my friend.
Like
Don't call
I
my friend stupid, please.
no,
Thank you.
sometimes your friend is a dumb blonde, like in all honesty.
Not a dumb
But
blonde.
but at the same time too, as you said, I'm trying my best to also speak better about myself to myself.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You know?
I
I think
agree.
that important.
Yeah. It's because even now when you look at the whole this whole manifestation and the move to the thought like you are what you attract, we think of the bigger picture, but the small things like because in church we learn life and death is in the power of the tongue. You are what you speak into your life, and we don't always pay attention to it, or we only look at it as in terms of the negative. So we don't always like, Sharlyne, like you are smart, you are beautiful, you're a badass bitch,
Yeah,
that type
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
thing. So every now and again there's that need to like self-validation and all that jazz and just speak positivity into my life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at, man.
I'm
How do
here
you?
for it.
What do you? What is your guy? What is your guys' go-to recharge method? Like even people listening, you can put a comment and say, "What is your go-to recharge?" Like for me, before it used to be like going to the river and chilling out, but now it's like going to my own place because I trying to make it into like my own dream, the dream
I'm
world.
trying to
You
go to
understand?
your place. Hey.
Hey.
I said, Jade.
I'm trying to go to your place.
Yeah, Jade have been there. Jade have been there. She's seen there, and she know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a
for
nice
me
place.
for me it's just being by myself. It's the moments where I'm just like, okay, Charlene, you go out this weekend, you go out last weekend, you go out the weekend before that. Okay, time to sit your ass down.
You just talk to
Let's
yourself
be
for a few years.
nice.
Plenty,
You just talk to yourself a lot.
You
plenty,
need to have regular staff meetings with yourself.
plenty.
I'm just
Yeah.
And
saying.
for me, what it was like I was the only child for like 11 years.
Ah,
Oh.
Yeah.
okay.
So it's like, yes, I had cousins and whatever, but every now and again, I would still just like people would be around me, and I still wouldn't be aware of the fact that people are around me because I in my own little world.
Yeah.
And even now is something like there's a lot like while I'm always aware of what happening around me, I'm not always paying attention to it, if that makes sense.
Yes. I know exactly
So
what you
like
mean.
when I paying attention to stuff, I paying attention, but I can be here and I can see you and not
Can
see you
choose
at
to
the same time.
engage. Yeah.
And that does get me in trouble, because a lot of times people just think like, oh, Charlene seen what happening. I was like, I really not paying attention to.
Don't know what to tell you.
I'm sorry.
But
Yeah.
do you think there's the same thing that happens with like you go on Facebook. I myself I don't really like Facebook a lot,
Nobody
but
does.
you go and you see how much different news. Shit. Where
You
was I
got
going?
lost, don't you?
I got no eyesight track in my mind. Damn. What? Say that again, Charlie. I can't believe I'm embarrassing myself. So say it
I think I get what you're saying. Like for me, I tune off a lot of the things on social media, like
again.
even on the
I
news.
hope I reached my point
I
there.
hope you reach to it too. But I think I get like if that is the same thing, like when you go on Facebook and you see certain things and you just scroll past it.
Yeah, but I think I was getting to a point though. What you were saying before that?
About being there but not always paying attention to what's happening around me. Like I'm there in person in body, but like mentally I'm somewhere else.
Well, while you're thinking about it, I'm gonna share that my week
Mm-hmm.
was very different from my last week. So y'all know with COVID, everything is like up and down. And I thank God for growth. Because before, when things were down, I would allow my spirit to be down. But like in this past 16, 18 months where I decided to, date myself and rehaul and pimp my spirit, I've been
Hey, I like
working.
that. Pimp your spirit.
Yeah. Like I've been working on not allowing the outside circumstances to change anything about
Wow.
what's happening
Mm-hmm.
inside. So it had come to the conclusion, like I had reached a point where because of COVID, all streams of my income had just been on pause indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting a little frustrated. And then I was like, you know what? I've never been failed before. God has never failed me before. I'm just going to, carry on as if.
Yeah.
Got one email, boom. While driving to that engagement, I'm getting another text. Oh, I need you on Monday. Getting another text. Oh, it just got a bunch
Hey,
of loans for you to do. Getting another email. And since from Thursday to today, my phone is just email. Okay, you've
we
been hired
love
for
to
this
see
job.
it.
You've been hired
We
for this
love
job.
to see
And I
it.
message Kenrick. I'm like, Kenrick, I go from having nothing to do to now having four jobs to do to now I have like seven or eight. And
Yeah,
we plan to get them all done.
all
So
done.
all of
Yes,
them. I don't say
ma'am.
no to
Yes, ma'am.
nothing. And we even
That's
have another
awesome, though.
tentative one.
Yeah,
So
blessing, man,
I'm just
blessing.
like, so I was just like, you know what? Thank you, Jesus, because I feel like I need to prove to the universe and to the Lord that I am not. Why would He give me something that I don't have? Why would you plant seeds in a garden that is not fertile?
Yeah.
Why would you ask God for money and He know you going and lose it? You know?
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
it's like I feel like it had a lot of, like Kenrick was saying at time, in lack you learn a lot. And I realized my attitude needed to change, my attitude towards money needed to change, my whole outlook on us, a lot of things needed to change. And the attitude I had when I had nothing dictates how much I get after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm very grateful, and I don't think it's because I so special that happening. Even seen this period of a lot being a test as well. Like
Yeah, because
how
it's
am I
one
going to
thing,
navigate?
right? It's one thing to not have money. It's something completely different to have money. It highlights either way you're tested.
Yeah, because as you said, I feel like if you can be a person outside of money, like the lack of money or the excess of money cannot
Yeah,
shake you. then
right.
you then you can be an individual. That you are a person. Like if the lack or the excess of money cannot change who you are, you
Then
know
that's
who
who you
yourself
are.
and you're firm.
Yeah,
You're a real person. Trust me.
But
but
I
true.
read
Yeah.
in
Sorry. Go
in
ahead.
in line with what you guys are saying, there's this chick I follow on Twitter. Tony Tone. She's from the United Kingdom. She said something some time back. She posted something some time back in line with this. Having money exaggerates people's true character.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. And
If
yes.
you are a selfless person, having money is going to people are going to see you might lose that money because you are so selfless. But if you're stingy, you're going to be stingy. It have certain things you just cannot hide. And
Yeah.
if you're not, even biblically, if you're not faithful with $100, if like you don't know how to spend $100, you're not going to know how to spend 10,000.
True.
Is no,
True.
you don't know how to spend it, and we just take those little things for granted.
lightly. Yeah,
But that's what it is, because like, if I can't manage $100, what makes you think I'm going to be able to manage
Why?
10,000?
and
Like,
with that saying, it
Exactly.
making sense that like like it just making practical sense. You find it making practical sense, like it
It's
just
logic.
practical.
It
Yeah,
makes
Yeah.
like
it
it's making
makes it
logical
make
sense. Because if I
yeah.
cannot manage $100 and buy $100 worth of lime seeds or whatever, and plant them and be able to sell lime or be able to get more seeds and plant more trees, and I guess I am the problem.
And you know that too is one of the reasons why, like, okay, granted, some of us really just never have enough money. But like for instance, you say you're going to take a loan and you're going to do X, Y, and Z with the loan. And sometimes you get that money and you do X, but you leave Y and Z out and you see something else and you're like ABC, you know? But Y and Z was important and we never
Yep.
address Y and Z. So now you need more money to address Y and Z, but it's not that A, B, and C wasn't as equally as important. You know,
Exactly.
it's but if you tell yourself it's X, Y, and Z and you stick to X, Y, and Z, then you might see your way a little better because those were important and you scratch them off.
Yeah,
Right. And
You know?
and yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why that reminds me of like just even leaving your parents' home, knowing what you're good at, and just focusing on that and just going towards it. Like I don't know why that. I don't know why what I just said has reminded me of that.
But sometimes
Like
though, like okay, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Um knowing what you're good at. Okay, here's my thing with knowing what you're good at. Some of us, the things we're good at, like for me, I'm good at talking. In my mind, I'm good at talking. But unless I'm saying stuff that people want to hear, me being good at talking not going to
Go
do anything
anywhere.
for me.
Yeah.
Unless I can figure out how to market me being good at talking,
So, but
because
no,
I don't want
I
to be
feel
talking for just talking sake.
but I feel like I have a question I can ask you too
Go ahead.
before we go to them real questions we have. Like I feel like is that what you really that is your real focus in everything? Like would you just focus on
Talking.
that? Because yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
I see where you're going.
So you asking a hard question. No, honestly, it's a hard question because for the past little while, and I even posted it on my WhatsApp recently, like wanting to make money or extra money or whatever, but not knowing what you're good at. You understand?
yeah.
My friends are like, oh, Charlie, like talking to you, like they like speaking to me. They have a problem, they can come and talk to me, and because the advice I'll give them. But this advice that I'm giving them is not from a
Train the
studied,
place.
a
Experience.
trained place. Is just sit down and listen to what you're saying and okay, try this X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But let's say as opposed to being a counselor, a certified counselor, a certified therapist, that type of thing. Um, right now it's easy. Everybody popping up as
Life coach.
life coaches and those things.
You can get your
And
150 hours, eh, friend.
well, and I looked at it and I'm like, maybe that's what I need to do.
Maybe.
Just
Ian,
look at it.
listen, Ian, retiring this season.
So get that
I
Ian
would,
bag.
yes, I would watch you fix people's life.
Oh wow.
I would.
Don't do this, you're gonna make me
You checking
cry.
you can do that?
Um yes and no. Let me tell you why I say the no. More importantly, I one of my problems is like I pick up people's problems.
Are you exposed enough to odd situations that you would not feel like you would not feel overwhelmed by something new?
Um, funnily enough, being present for people, I don't feel overwhelmed by it. When I have to do it for myself, it's something different.
But what about the odd like that's like it's strange
Bizarre
like
situations.
bizarre situations? Yes, like
I don't think I haven't met or I haven't come across something that I cannot like step out myself especially when it doesn't happen to me. When you're on the outside looking in, it's easier to be able to say, maybe you should try X, Y, and Z, as opposed to taking that same advice for yourself, because you are out of the situation. So I don't think I have come up against anything that just like, whoa,
Order. Too
not like
off.
that. Because when you remember that human beings are capable of anything.
So if I come to you, I come to you and tell you, like, one of my parents are doing something that I really don't like, I don't know how to address it, and this is what it is, and it's so odd. Like, I take like a whole month to tell you what it was. Like, I maybe take a whole year to explain to you exactly what the situation is at home, and it have situations that as odd as my dad is, as a female, my dad is
A crush
interfering
dresser.
with me and my mom. My dad is being affectionate with me and my mom. Like, how do you like those kind of
You
odd
see, is
odd
that
situations?
that isn't even
As
in my
odd
mind,
as
that isn't odd.
Okay, well,
Because, and one of the things is, I grew up with a lot of people older than me around me and reading. So there are a lot of things I haven't experienced personally, but from
you know
reading,
of them,
right.
right?
So it makes it easier to grasp certain concepts.
Yeah, yeah.
Because sometimes we cannot understand something unless we've experienced it. And there are certain things I never want to experience. Like, I don't, so I'll take another person's, I'll read it in a book, and
Yeah, yeah.
that type of thing. But going back to when you remember that human beings are capable of anything, it's that not putting limitations, not putting expectations on a person, then it kind of nothing surprises you, and it's easy to apply that to people. It's harder to apply it to yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
It's easy to be like, oh, okay, now you're saying that I remember seeing a little thing with that was kind of like, at the time, that type of thing. That's what happens with me. People are like, oh, something happened. I'm like, okay. And I put that and I put that. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So it's never like
Okay.
reminding myself that humans are capable of anything. It doesn't really be that odd to me.
Okay.
And as
Makes
long as I
sense.
can look at it from like outside looking in, it's something completely different. Like I think I'm better able to be like, maybe you should do this, that, and that.
To make your you as an audience be more safe. Like, for example, to be a person that somebody can trust. What do you think is something that, or the things or the character that you should have that people can trust, that they can talk to you if they need help? Because it have plenty of people in different communities that need help and they don't know who to talk to. What do you think is a character that we can have that will make us be open or seem open, not to our family but to the community? Like, how would
Kindness.
huh?
Kindness. You'd be surprised how
Yeah,
many
I
people
think
are
so.
just not naturally kind.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
people wake up and choose violence
I'm
every
not
day.
I don't,
So
I don't
I
think I'm
feel
naturally kind.
kindness. I think I've had kindness naturally. It is not in my and hats off to my parents, especially my dad, who told us we are not allowed to call people names. We are not allowed to, like be mean. So it's not an instinct for me. However, what I had to cultivate was being non-judgmental, and I'm still cultivating it because nobody wants to be kind but still judged. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So that part, I think those two together, being warm, being kind, being non-judgmental, or those three together, I think that will make help people trust you. And also not being somebody that does run your mouth.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Facts.
not
for
being
real.
no, because there are some people they're not even intentional, like
Mm-hmm.
they will just come out in like any setting and say something and you just watching like, bruh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even set the environment for you to say that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that is not
Yeah, I
something
understand.
I would say
Just throw
about
out
any,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you say, oh, my girlfriend, me and a man cheating on. I was like, from time to time, I just checking. You don't even have the capacity to understand how damaging that might be to her. So no. So
Some
if
people
you're
like
somebody
attention
that,
like that.
yeah, like people who, how you speak to people, how you carry yourself in public, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's very important because some people might be going through things, Charlene, and they would not have enough money on their phone to call help. But if they know you in the community and Charlene always, why are you laughing? Charlene always there, and Charlene, I can trust Charlene. Like Charlene is the community person. To you.
Because
What happened to you?
the way you say community, I thought I was gonna have another word.
No, it's like I know you're just using me as an example, but in actuality, I'm the furthest thing from that.
Okay.
Like I keep to myself a lot of the time. So I go to work and I go home. Um, I don't leave my house unless I have to. There are times when, especially when my daughter isn't with me, I come home on Friday and people don't see me till Monday.
You don't think interacting with people make you a better person?
You can be an introvert and not
The thing is,
unkind to people.
yes, but I'm not always, and I'm going to be completely honest, full transparency. I don't think of myself as the approachable type.
You don't like
Okay.
the officer that slapped the partner, slap the
I'm
school.
not having that conversation with you. I don't I don't feel like when you see me, and I know this about myself is a hard truth. When you see me, I don't feel I give off that. Oh, let me be her friend.
Hmm.
Um, I
You don't
am
feel you give that off.
no. Like when
Me,
you
me
just
too.
meet me,
As if I have moments when I can be different. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But generally, like you will see me, my face serious. I'm not smiling, and I really just in my own little corner. Like I keep to myself. I have my friends. I have like how you keep to yourself and you're out with me because you're my people. I feel comfortable with you. But generally, like I don't think I'm the approachable type. I'm like I'm that person you have to get to know me to be like, what's it? Like Sharlyne bark is worse than her bite. You know? So I know that about me. So like when you're talking about like a person you can come and talk to and you if you're not my friend, you're not automatically going to think, let me go and talk to Sharlyne.
Hmm.
And that's just how it is. I'm trying my best to not be that person. Um it's not easy because again, and I think for me it's just protecting my energies because I have been in spaces where like you think those people are your friends and you realize it's not. I myself have been guilty of doing that. At the moment you don't realize that you're being a shitty friend, but now you're looking back at it and you're like, I was a shitty friend.
Yeah.
You know, so I have
You need
been
some toilet paper.
yeah. So I
A
have been
flush.
on the giving and the receiving end
Yeah.
of both. And it has made me just like sit down and, you know, like take stock of like, Sharlyne, why are you like this? Um,
Why?
why?
I was joking.
No, I can say why, you know.
I joking.
No, I can say why. Growing up, I was at one point in time when I entered primary school, I had a condition. So I would have to
You
cut
couldn't
my
learn. You
hair.
couldn't learn as fast as the other students.
No, not that.
You were
Um,
learning at the same pace. What happened?
it's like scalp psoriasis. So like I used to get bobo in my scalp, right?
Oh,
And
that's tough as a child.
listen, and I would have to cut
Cut
my
your hair off.
hair like off. And every other year, my parents would have to come into school and talk to my teachers and let them know it's not Sharlyne's fault. She's sick, she's sick, and she
Why
sometimes
you?
she
Why
have
your
to
parents
wear
have
a
to
hat
explain why your hair cut?
Because
because
some teachers are douchebags.
some and children as well. Because imagine your 5, 6 year old coming home to you crying, nobody wants to play with her.
Yeah.
And it's like it
Used
got
to
to a
wear,
point where like I used to have to wear hats going home from school. I have to have
yeah,
a
I was
hat on
going
my
to
head
ask if you have to
because
cover your head.
yeah, and
Aww.
you see other little girls and everybody has friends and when my hair short, people don't want when my hair cut, nobody wants to talk to me because they're scared they will get it.
Oh
And then in the
no.
following year when my hair grows out, everybody's like, ah. So it's kind of like
You still feel away about that?
um
Remembering it?
yes.
Yeah.
Because that
Oh, I'm
happened
sorry.
from
I would have been
primary
your
school.
friend.
Thank you,
I
Jade.
am that girl.
Like that
Sorry.
happened from primary school. I started high school and I didn't have hair in my head. I went to
High school?
high school.
Whoa.
I
Boy,
went
that
As a
must
to
have
fresh
been rough.
I
first form,
went
you
to
go in
first
school.
form. I go school with and it wasn't everybody embracing their natural hair like we're doing now and children don't mind cutting their hair.
Different now, yeah.
You
I want to
understand?
cut mine
It
anyway.
was everybody have hair and I am the girl in high school without hair on my head.
Jade, talking about that, you ever did a short haircut? A short haircut?
Yes, I did in my first or second year of UE. Don't know what crisis I was going through, but it was rough, and I just like cut off everything because I'm
Everything.
like, yeah, that was like
How
at the
flat?
beginning
Like
where
how flat?
everybody like flat, flat, flat like a boy,
You see,
and
you?
yes,
You
and
what
I
kind of head
looked.
shape? Like, how was your head shape? Like, you was
That was
comfortable?
I did not know about my head shape. I found out that day. And I just remember staring in the mirror and be like, oh my God, I'm so ugly.
Eh.
I could, because my head just shaped a little weird. And my hair grows weirdly.
Looking at you, I think I can. Let me imagine your head shaped like a lime, maybe.
Like okay, you see, like Stewie?
Like,
Something so.
ow, ow, ow,
No,
ow.
because like my hair naturally on the sides, it more poofy. Like it don't have
No, but
a
not just
push. Yeah,
not.
but my head more, it have a weird.
No, I mean your head with like the shape of your skull, like your head itself.
Yeah, it have a limeish quality to it, a lemony limey quality to it that make it one black not very sustainable. Yeah,
Okay,
So yeah, like that
okay,
was a
okay.
sorry.
lot to deal with.
I'm sorry.
And imagine starting a co-ed school, not
That way
having
it builds
hair.
you though.
She probably
Maybe
built
that's maybe
someone
that's why maybe that's why
who
you
So
maybe
it
mm,
that's why
made
you
it
are a
it
toxic
made it
male.
it that's why. Because then the
whoa.
same people like in first form, second like that were like, but the whom I'm still think she is. When like my breasts came in, well
Put
by
them
that
in their
time I had
place.
breasts and they're like, but yeah, you pretty.
Mm,
But yeah, I like that. Well, not really pretty, not
Well, I
because
guess you know your
but
BTB.
like grow into it and know the same first.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I
Face
like
and
her.
chest.
And I was watching like, but in high school, you didn't want nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
That type of a thing. And even the female interactions as well, it was like,
Yeah.
okay, so I look in a particular way, you don't want to be friends with me, but no. So
So
there was a
then
lot of that. So that
Well,
has carried
well,
over.
that must be hard to navigate. Like your trust
Well,
level for
listen,
women might be a little
it is.
the what
And
level?
I remember,
superficial kind of
The what level?
trust.
yes.
Because it's
And I
like it
remember
seems
my
like
sister
female friendships
being,
are superficial.
yeah.
Oh,
And I remember my
Yeah.
sister being
Oh.
so hard, like, Sharlyne, you must cut your hair. But I hadn't, like, cutting my hair for me, it was never attractive. Like, it was never like,
why is me alone not drinking
maybe
on
you
the
have
hard
a
ones?
problem.
Why is me
Kenrick,
Oh, but Jay,
I
sorry.
talking now and I have a drink. I have my drink. I have my drink, Kenrick. Look, I have my
in your
drink.
hand?
Look, I have my
Your
drink in
hand
my
don't get
hand.
drunk. Your hand don't get high.
Okay, I drank. You
But the
happy?
motive is not to get high. Get me right.
So it's like, my sister's like, oh, Sean, you must cut your hair. I cut it flat or whatever. And I just, after Maria, it happened again because of my sister. She cut my hair, so I cut it flat.
Mm.
And it was, but I
Flat or
had to
flat?
deal flat.
You family you comfortable with the shape of your
Like,
head.
yes, I am.
I feel like
She have a
But
good
at the
head
time, I
shape.
wasn't because of the negative feelings I had associated with a flat
Yeah,
cut.
I can imagine.
And then what happened after that? So from 2017 to sometime last year, like I was growing my hair and cutting it. And it was like, everybody's like, oh my God, Sharlyne, you with short hair is a vibe. Sharlyne, you with long hair is a vibe. Sharlyne, you with... And then I got to the point where I
Boy,
started feeling uncomfortable with short hair again.
what? Too much
Because
attention?
I started putting on weight.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah. When
Yes.
your shoulders and your boobs are a little too big, your
So I
head
didn't
have to have more
feel
full hair.
so I didn't feel comfortable with, and in as much as
whoa.
people were
The
like,
Okay.
balance,
oh my
yeah.
God, you're looking
Okay.
nice with the short hair, I no longer felt attractive.
Yeah. Because I
It
really want to
wasn't
cut my hair, but my boobs and my shoulders, they're a little
yeah, because you're seeing, so like now you
with
kind of hunch
proportion.
forward a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's just like, this is not sexy to me. So even
Yeah.
if Tom, Dick, and Harry can tell me, Sean, but I like to see you like that. If I don't like to see it,
I know
you
exactly
know,
what you're saying.
Boy, the human experience is so weird
it's
and
weird.
cerebral. Like everybody have different things they're scared of, and it's like
Mm,
sometimes the other people that looking at you don't even care about the
they
things,
don't even know. So that is
and
like,
we holding back ourselves sometimes in living a real life. Like,
but it's not, you know what it is? All of us experience trauma differently.
Yeah.
And that trauma carries on with us. No matter
yeah, I believe that. Because
it's
today,
it it carries on with us, and until we address it, it's
Um,
going to show up in the friends we keep, the way we speak to ourselves, the way we speak to others, the conversations we have, the areas we feel that we belong, you know?
yeah,
and
Because I
that
remember vividly a friend of mine said, like in high school, there was this, like there was the group of popular guys, good looking. And then there was the guy,
athletic.
right? And then there was the guy that was their friend, but he didn't have as much going for them as they did. But that guy was interested in me. But I wasn't attracted to him like that. I was like third form or whatever. And I remember clearly being in a class at time, and my friends behind me, they're like, oh, I don't know why Charlie not interested in the boy. Who else going to be interested in her?
oh
What?
my
Tell you that?
Listen,
god.
they didn't think I heard them. Those were two of my friends having that
That is
conversation.
so
Your
And
mean.
it
close
was
friends?
two of my close friends. These are people that had been to my home. I had been to their
Oh
home,
my
like
goodness.
my close friends. And they said that, and I was just like, wow. You know, it was a like,
Whoa.
wow. If my friends think that is the best that I can do, then, wow.
Oh no.
So even that, and I'm thinking about it now and putting everything in perspective, has led me to be this kind of standoffish. It just
I
makes it
okay.
easier.
Like
Okay.
I'm glad you shared. Like so many more things make
Makes
sense.
sense. So like that's why the friends I have, the
I get
relationships
it now.
I have, I value. And
I
I
get
don't
it.
go around just calling people my friend. Because people turn on you, and the people you think that you're your friend.
Boy, the amount of people
But
I meet that had more than one best friend, I couldn't understand. Jade, as if you was one of them, right? You have more than one best friend?
as in, I had the point where my friends are like my sisters, so it's like I don't even like to say best friend because
Best
it
friend.
like it
Yeah.
puts people in some kind
Yeah.
of hierarchy.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's weird for me to say best friend. I mean, like best friend is like a Disney kind of thing. But what I say it is like you all okay. Do you see yourself as having a number one or friend, or just like you cool with them and you can tell them on the same level, like you can speak to all of them on the same level, or you have one that closer, or because I
Okay.
myself,
Mhm.
me personally, I grew up in a culture where it's more about like not being involved too much with people because of how much people have like done certain things,
Yeah.
and a lot of people like that, and that can have a negative side to it as well.
Hmm.
But I was not. If I was someone that was like strictly like following that, then I would have been somebody different because I end up having friends in different places
Hmm.
and different things in life, different what you call it, different parts of life, different.
I think the closest thing I have, let me
I'll
think.
look at a word
The
just now.
closest, the only person I would say that is my, like, I can say completely is my best friend is Kenrick.
Careers. Yeah,
Like,
Oh, you hear
yeah,
what she just said?
yeah. Jade is the closest person to me too. Jade knows more
yeah,
about me than my
Oh
I can
wow.
say the same about Kenrick.
I
I
don't
think
know what
Kenrick
my
is
mother
the
knows.
person that knows me 360, like whole inside, outside, whole, like back, front. Like, I feel like he knows all the sides of me.
Mm-hmm.
But
And I feel
it still have parts of ourselves we keep to
we keep
ourselves.
to ourselves, obviously,
Yeah.
everybody does. But I feel like even the parts of myself that I do keep to myself, I don't feel scared sharing with him, per se. Like, I feel like if the day comes when I want to share it with him, I would feel safe to do so.
I feel like when you know you're capable of doing so much bad things yourself, it's easy to excuse other people and forgive other people. Because when you it's like if you if you're a person that you just started life, for example, imagine being a new person, like a newborn person, and you just start life and you're just seeing things. And you have to be a good person, Jade. You have to be a good person, and you're seeing how many bad things happening around you. You do like life, like it haven't got no blueprint for life in your mind. And you have to come on earth and see how much bad things happening around you in your home, outside, in your churches or in your schools. And you yourself have to decide to be a good person.
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
I think for me, um, I feel so sad every time. And it seemed like that is such a common experience for women, young girls, that I hear a lot of women saying I don't trust women. And I'm like, why? Because like a girl friendships are the best. But I can understand why it happens. And with me, I'm starting to realize that I have a lot of people who are very close to me and who I love dearly, but I do not lean on them the way I allow them to lean on me. And
Hmm.
I recently, just this week, I realized that I am triggered. Like, and I think that's why Kenrick is the closest person to me. Um, Kenrick is not judgmental at all. He's not a judgmental person. And I think I try my best in my female friendships to be the friend who is not judgmental. I have very strong opinions. Everybody knows that. But what I will do is love the hell out of you and allow you to feel safe. And I
Yeah.
will try my best to be the soft place. I may not get it right all the time, but that's what I'm going to do. But I feel like I don't often get that in return because it is a very selfless thing to do. It does require a lot from you to hear somebody's situation and not immediately be Jay. So you do like
Yeah. Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
very difficult to
That's
not do
you.
that, to not
Yeah.
Why you
react.
Like how
gonna
you
tell
can do
him?
that? Like how you find yourself in that
Why you
situation?
gonna
Right.
tell him?
It's very
Yeah.
difficult not to. And I have realized I am very like inside of me is very compartmentalized, and inside of me have a lot of vaults. And it's only this week I realized that because I am so skilled at doing what is right, regardless of how I feel, there are a lot of people who are very close to me. If you ask them, we are very close, but I don't share the things that bother me and keep me up at night. I will not, because one time I probably took the chance of having, like, I'm the friend, if you're having a irrational moment, come to me.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But the day I have one and the response is you being ridiculous or you being this or
Mm-hmm.
is nonsense, from the time you invalidate me,
Mm-hmm.
something inside me dies to you completely. and I will never open up that door again. But it doesn't mean like you won't feel like I won't not love you, and I
I
won't
just wouldn't open up to
change
you.
how I deal with you. I just will not open up
Yeah.
myself
I
again to
think
you ever.
Jade, I think to interject, I think people on like generally they don't want to know about the bad things about the people that encourage them.
That
I
Yeah.
don't think so. I don't think they want.
that we don't
So
want
I
to
don't
feel
think
like they're human too.
you
Yeah,
saying
I just saw that.
Okay.
you want to
And
pause or continue
No, no, no.
conversation
No. I'm good.
we don't want to
I think my
feel
phone died.
that
or you
uh
switch device already?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
we don't want to feel that they're human too. I've experienced that as well.
And that's it. Like the same way I give you your space to be human,
Yeah.
why when it's me I can't get it from you?
And
So
it was like I've experienced I've experienced that too. And it was heavy. And it took at the time I wasn't paying attention to it like that. But then I sat down and I was like, yo, that's messed up. Because it was one of the worst points of my life. And my friend is going to hear it and she's going to feel bad. And that's not my intention.
Don't call her
Which
name.
I'm not going to call her name. We
Don't.
just
How she gonna
sharing.
noise you? Let's
Because
try
it's
to avoid that. How she gonna noise you?
how she got noise her is a conversation we've had.
Oh, okay, okay.
And it's from like in this aspect is a reference point.
Okay.
I was at my lowest, but I could have still put what I was going through on a side and show up for her. And she was like, she didn't think what I was dealing with was so bad.
Why?
And
and
Why
that's
you
a
was
thing
why
I
you was trying to
often
help her?
do.
yes,
So like you
like
open up
at
to
the
her.
no at the time, she was like, oh, she didn't think me like what I was dealing with was so much. And at the time, and like, but we've since had the conversation and I've explained to her and like, but it's still something that has stayed with me because it goes back to sometimes we're so caught up in ourselves that we're not paying attention to the people around us, you know?
Yeah.
And when they call us on it, we're just like, oh, but you didn't tell me. Okay, granted. But there are certain things you don't have to tell a person.
Because
Like
I'm paying
there's
attention to you, and sometimes you don't have to tell me, and I'm
right.
there
And that
because
is
But not
my
everybody,
role in your life is different.
everybody not sharp like that.
that's
Everybody.
true. But
Some
Kenrick,
people just, some people just live in on
Kenrick,
like,
there are certain events, there are certain there are certain
should be
oh,
obvious. Should
right. There are
yeah.
certain
Especially
events
if like
that when it happens, you should just be like if you lose a person in your family,
because
regardless
there's
of and sometimes it's only in death we realize how much a person means to us. And I don't never want that
Jade,
to
don't
be
die,
my
please. Don't
experience.
die.
That is
I
why I
won't.
always make
Ever.
my people know how important, or I try my best to make my people know how important they are to me. I never want to feel like I should have told her this or I should have told him that, because death puts things in perspective.
I'm
I
telling you.
telling you, you know what is real life
Yes.
in death, in like in a
But
funeral.
Sharlyne, sorry, Ken. Sorry.
I was going to end right there.
Okay. You know, my friend, I was going for a very hard time. I think it was around the time Kenrick and I broke up like 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And I think I was going for a rough time, but everybody around me was going for a rough time too. So they didn't read. None of them knew how hard it
Rough.
was for me.
Yeah.
And there was one time I reached a breaking point, and I was kind of angry and a little bit resentful. And they probably might not even know that. But one of them said to me, I don't know if I expressed it, I can't remember because that time is a blur. One of them said to me is, Jade, you are Jade to all of us, but none of us can be Jade to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
And I was just like, you know what? I think it helped me because I was really resentful because I'm like, When everybody's in crisis, I'm there, and I don't feel like there's ever any space for me to be in crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Although
Because we
that's
look
good
at,
for me.
yeah, yeah,
It's good
I
for me
understand.
because I had to learn a lot of self governance.
No,
I
but
had
here's
to
the thing
learn.
though. Here's the thing though, Jade. We need
Mhm.
people.
That's why I feel like I lean.
And we
Here's
need
the
to
sick and
feel
twisted
that
thing.
we need to feel that the same way we can show up for people, we like to feel that those people can show up for us.
But it's
But you
not
know what
everywhere you plant
happens?
your seed, you just get the tree
No, but
though.
you know what? Right, that. And the people who show up for us are never quite those we expect to show up for us.
And that should be okay. Because
But
we
But
yeah, that,
should
but
is
not
Charlie,
is
give, because
Charlie,
we should not give to get. We should be
no,
give
is yes,
because
it is
I understand that, you
okay,
know.
but it also like makes you, because okay, you're not showing up for these people because you expect them to show up for you. That type of thing. You know? But at the same time, it is a different, because a lot of the times the people that show up for you tend to be people like you're not even paying attention to like that.
yeah. But the point is, someone showed up. So it's like for
Yes.
me, the way I see it is, if the end goal is achieved, then there's no harm done.
I think we're not supposed to expect the
Yeah,
person that we can help in a certain way to be the person to help
that's
us
not
in
going to
the
help
same
us.
way.
Yeah,
Yes, I
I
get
Because
agree.
that.
because I
But
mean,
sometimes it would mean a little more. And I'm not
If it
saying it
was
won't
from
happen,
them, yes.
but sometimes it would mean a little more. Like, why is this person that is so close to me not seeing I'm going through this?
Like I'm
yeah,
But
not. Yeah,
Tom, the janitor that don't know me like that, can see that and show up for me.
different people,
yeah.
different
You know,
experiences.
is all of
Yeah,
that, and
and
is being
just and
mindful of all of that. But in the moment, that's
yeah,
not what you're paying attention
I
to.
have I
In
have
the
a
moment,
favorite
you're just
poet.
looking at
Sorry.
it as your world is falling apart, and the people who you have been there for are unable to be there for you.
yeah.
And
I
the resentment, of course, you're going to feel some type
Do
of
is
way
it?
about that. It like, and then you still have to remind yourself that maybe this is a one off. Maybe this is a, it's so much levels to it. It's not just black and white, but it doesn't make it any easier knowing it's not just black and white, and knowing that it's not always the people you show up for that show up for you and all of that. It still
mhm.
doesn't make it any easier,
True
because then that makes you wonder, should I stop showing up for that
for
person
them.
and
but
show up for that
then
that is
but
showing up
then
for me?
now you have to question your motives. There,
Yeah,
my
yeah, for
favorite
real.
poet is Stevie Smith, and she had my favorite poem of hers ever was "Not Waving but Drowning,"
Not
and
doing
it's
what?
talk not waving but drowning. It's a
Mhm.
poem about, well, it's kind of, her style is so quirky and I love it, but technically it's just about people being in your life close to you and being so familiar with you that when you're in crisis, they think it's a joke. So
Yeah.
it's like they saw me in the sea, I was waving my hands or whatever, and they didn't realize I wasn't waving, but I was actually drowning.
Drowning.
Like they
Yeah.
so have this thing like, oh, it's you. You'll be, if you can handle my problems, obviously you can handle
You can handle
yours,
yours.
right?
Exactly.
And if we being logical, if they come to you when they can't handle their problems or when they want to vent, obviously they don't have the space
The
to take on the
capacity.
load of
Yeah.
yours. And two, you yourself, like, what is the objective? Are you loving people to be loved, or you loving them because that's who you are?
Hmm.
And that goes back to, and honestly, when I learned that with Kenrick, because something sick was happening, I was in pain over a breakup with Kenrick, but he was the one I was going to about that
Oh,
pain. That was
Trap.
weird. It was
So
weird.
it is in the trap.
And the poor boy just there having to hear how much he hurt me. And that was helping me because he was being jaded to me.
mm,
But I had him as my source of pain. So it must
yeah.
have been super difficult for him.
Was
But
it
he took
Kenrick?
it like a trooper,
Super
though.
difficult.
I mean, it was frustrating for him for real and was making the situation worse, but
Yeah. Of course, of
he
course.
was there. And I think maybe that's why I can say he is my best friend for real. I give him no hats off to him. That must have taken a lot of testicular fortitude. So
You
I
got big
really
balls.
appreciate. Yeah, it had to have been tough to deal with. But I had to come to a place where I realized like this isn't healthy. And the more I learned about attachment versus connection with him, it helped me in my other friendships. So it's like the resentment of, oh, when I go in for things I care, come to you, that is gone. What I
Yeah.
do is I create boundaries though in my head, in that,
That's what
all
I'm doing,
right,
and nobody knows how to react to it.
all right, I'm still going to be there for you, but I'm not going to be there in such a way that I feel robbed
Yeah.
or I feel like I'm betraying myself and my
Yeah.
needs. I'm not going to put my needs on a hold for you in a capacity where I'm not comfortable anymore.
Jade, you have beautiful eyes.
Oh, you
I'm
know they
telling
used
you,
to call me
almond eyes,
all,
almond.
and I so insecure. I grew up very insecure about it
No, no, no. Like
because they used
What?
to
always
call
like
us all like
no, like
all of us
sitting
had
there
big
looking at you,
eyes.
and I'm sorry too, just like but Jade has
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
thank you.
you're
Let's
welcome.
compliment Jackie fam.
Yeah,
But yeah, like
I get what you're saying though. The like doing things because you love the person or
because you
doing
just
things
put it in the
because you're
world and you
expecting
let it go.
love. Yeah.
Drink time. Bing,
And it
bing, 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 bing. Make sure you're drinking.
and it goes back drinking.
All right. Sorry, Sharlyne. Not sorry.
No, that's okay.
Go
That's
ahead.
okay. And it goes back to something you shared with me this week. If you're going to be there for a person, understand some of their dirt's going to get on you. And if you're willing for some of their dirt to get on you, you can't constantly keep throwing in their face that some of your
Yeah.
like your dirt got on me.
Well, I mean, example.
So it's like it
Like,
cannot be I going to be with you. Oh, back to our sex episode when we were talking about being with somebody who had sexual trauma.
mhm,
And a lot of the times people with sexual trauma have a lot of confusing baggage and
mhm,
confusing emotional issues.
mhm.
And if you're going to be with that person, you cannot constantly throw in your face like, listen, you so stressful, or um
You don't want
is
to do this with me because Tom do that
because
with me.
someone do that to
You
you,
know,
or
like you
why
can't
is
keep
me,
throwing this shit, the
yeah, why
stress.
is me you stressing out and blah blah blah, like those kind of things. Like if you're going to be there, be there.
Be there. So I
If
cannot
you if
say
and if you cannot handle it, just
just
say I don't have the
say that.
tools and just go. But you
So I
cannot
cannot come
sit
and
there and
tell you.
make them feel bad for the
Yeah, so I
trauma.
can't come and tell you, Kenrick.
Is
Um,
it easy to say that way?
it
I
is.
know it is easy,
Unless you're in
but
this situation. So I can't come and tell you. You can't come and say like, Sharlyne, I need help carrying a post, and I know my back no good, and I help you carry the post. And every 2 days I have to remind you, if I didn't
boy,
help you carry that post, I wouldn't be in that situation now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just don't help. Can you carry the
Boy, a
post?
partner helped me today, Jade. My brother helped me today when I wanted to. And the man walk on a wood that has a nail in it way.
Oh gosh.
The nail chook the man foot way.
I hope
Oh
you get a tetanus
no.
shot.
But it don't go fine
You
his
don't
foot.
have
But
tetanus in
the
your
thing
foot,
is, you
girl.
know when something go in your foot, you try to
It
like
don't have
you kind of
tetanus
try to
shot.
go on the next leg to balance it
Uh-huh.
off, kind of.
Uh-huh.
He step on the side of his foot, so he end up hurting his foot.
So
Oh
both.
no.
I don't know if it's both now,
Gosh.
but
Where
something
him
hurt.
now? He in the hospital?
He hold me just take like a over the counter painkiller,
It go
and
right inside?
huh?
It go right inside?
He said he didn't go too deep. He
He might
says
need.
just the way he tried to balance himself off after he feel it is what that.
Mm.
Mm.
So
Oof.
well,
I hope it
hopefully
wasn't a rusty
he'll be
nail.
okay. Huh?
It wasn't a rusty nail.
Hmm. No, 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 no. It
Okay.
was like a shiny new nail. It was new nail.
Okay. But
Mm.
still.
Yikes.
But yeah, that's like but
Yeah, I
yeah.
get what you're saying.
So it's like if you're helping me, if you're going to be there for me, be there for me.
And don't make me feel bad
Don't make me feel bad. And I'm
about
Or don't tell people.
that too. And I've been guilty
Sharlyne,
of it
yeah, man. Me that help Sharlyne. Me that help
because
Sharlyne get fix a relationship. Yeah, man. Is
yes,
me. Yeah,
Which
man.
is why
but
I feel very
in
when
the
I hear
moment,
women say like he wouldn't be this if it wasn't for me. Like,
but is again
stop.
is it's
But sometimes it's
separating
true.
the ego from the
Yeah, but you
person.
don't have to everything that true you don't need to say.
True.
Your mother
But
wipe your
in
bottom all your life. Well, not all
yeah,
your life,
but
but
in the
She can say
moment
it.
when you're saying it, it feels justified. Unless you're a completely mean person that just like to throw shit in people's face. You understand what I'm saying? Like at the and it's always easy to say, "Oh, don't do X, Y, and Z,"
I
until you're in
know.
this
I know
situation.
because I was just thinking there because if you want to navigate through life and to think like you're born, you come on earth and you meet people, some people driven by money, some
Mm-hmm.
people driven by emotions like passion, some people driven by a lack, the lack that was in the family, they want to have what they didn't have in the family.
yeah.
Like how you navigating through life, like it's like you see like yourself, like where do you fit?
Well,
Like where do
yeah,
you go? Where do you fit? Like everybody just trying to stay alive, basically.
that's
Like
You know what I think? I
mhm,
don't think we live examined lives enough. I don't think we question our motives enough. I feel like
I
if
agree.
we sit down and we question our motives, we not accountable to our own selves and we just ask people to be accountable to us.
Hmm.
I had
I
to
guilty of that.
have those very ugly, ugly Kenrick, honestly. That's why I'm very thankful. If I did not meet Kenrick, a lot of in because on paper, I'm a good girl. On paper.
Mm-hmm.
I do the
Mm-hmm.
right things, I follow the rules, blah blah blah. But if I didn't meet Kenrick, I would not know a lot of things about myself because he's the closest person to me. And I had to realize my tendency for codependency. I had to realize my tendency to be mean when I'm hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I had to realize I was extremely
Feel that mean when
judgmental.
you hurt.
But the thing about me is, I'm not going to raise my voice at you. But you see my words,
I
I'm a
will cut
ninja.
you.
But I would, it's not mean words. And
Cut
it's not
you.
even mean words though. Kenrick
Is your
told me
truth.
once,
Is
he's
your
like, Jade,
truth.
you can be casually cruel. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what? But it's like if I talking like if you outside and you hear what I say, it wouldn't even sound bad to you.
Mm-hmm.
But the person I'm talking to
They know.
is a blade.
I've been that person.
You understand? So I had
Like
Yeah.
to
I've been that person.
examine myself so hard because I was like, I don't want to damage somebody who's so close to me. So it's like, what is making you do that? And I realize it's not even we try to fix the problem from the outside in. Okay, I'll stop saying this. Okay, I'll stop saying that. I'll apologize. But then you
Mm-hmm.
get back into it because you have the same machine running.
Yeah.
So if you have the same thought patterns, you're going to keep doing the same thing
Hmm.
eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same results too.
Yeah. I've been
For real.
and I've been guilty of it. And for some reason I have done it with my friends more than with my significant others.
Hmm.
And I had to check myself. I had to is the space, the grace. I don't know if it was expecting more from my friends than these men because like as a female, you meet certain people and it's probably a relationship you shouldn't be in, but you'll try it anyway.
For real.
As
I
opposed
had time to listen, boy.
like it's probably on if you really sit down and pay attention to it, you probably shouldn't be giving Tom the time of day. But you're going to try hoping it works out differently. But what I have done with my friends, because why are you laughing?
You carefully curate your friends.
That so because of that, it makes it like I will cut you and I will cut you deep. But these guys, because like in my mind, they're not here for long. I'm not too bothered. I don't the expectations I have of
Sharlyne's
them.
a savage.
Listen,
She's like, you're here for a good time, not a long
not a
time,
long time,
nigga.
and it was like I couldn't be bothered. But I loved my friends differently. I showed up for these people differently. So it was almost like I know what to say to hurt you.
Yee.
And
Oh.
yeah,
Not like you just think about it. This just happened, right?
no, this is, let me tell you what happens with me. I am very forgive and forget, but at the same time, if you want to get funny, we'll get hilarious. I'll
We'll
have
get
the last
jiggy. We'll get
word.
them
Like
jiggy.
if you
I
want
feel
to
like you
jump
and
a
Kenrick
scene,
are very similar. You
like
see that?
the water
I'm not
signs in
that
it.
person.
It's the water sign. It's like so like if you want to throw stones, let's throw
Yeah, I have
stones.
stone too.
Like
Yes,
you
that Kenrick
know,
will pick up a
and
whole boulder.
yeah, and because of that, I was
Let's
hard on
go.
my friends and these because I knew these men were not at the time. It wasn't the love of. It wasn't them. It.
Love of my life.
That's what you are. Like I knew it wasn't them, and I had to love my friends probably even more and take a step back and be like, you know what, Sharlyne, you're being hurtful, like, and you're doing that because you're responding from a place whatever they said made you defensive. So you have to deal with that. And that kind of helped me in my current relationship. Like I call him my home and my adventure. And if it ends today, I'll be
Oh,
like, I would still be okay.
that's how
But
I
because,
feel.
yeah, yeah. But because I know I'm capable of saying mean stuff, I'm always mindful of what I say. Curate my words.
Yes.
And I learned that from my relationships with my friends. And I was able to carry that into those romantic relationships that matter to me. The rest of you, I will hurt your feelings and don't feel no way because at the end of the day, what?
Okay.
Like,
I
who
just
is you?
I
Like,
get nauseous feeling thinking about hurting someone's feelings.
I
I feel
don't.
like I value humans so much I don't want to hurt them. Yes, Kenrick.
Bing, bing, bing.
Time for a
So,
drink.
guys. Oh, yeah.
My glass is empty. Change of conversation.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bing, bing, bing.
Nah, the ones we on.
Yes, Kenrick. You had some stuff you wanted to share with
Lighten up
us.
the air. What do you guys think about millennial couples moving into tiny homes? What do you think about the tiny home options
I
right
want to
now?
do it.
You know what the tiny homes are?
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I'm asking you a question.
What are the tiny homes? Like those people you see making homes out of buses and those things like
Well, a little.
As an
Well, yeah.
example,
Those are examples.
okay,
Yes.
here's the thing.
like a home would be the size of this apartment, the home, and they have a yard, like a yard and farm, and
Here's the thing.
maybe.
I grew up in all you get in all of Charlene, on this podcast. So I hope all you appreciate
I appreciate
because
it. It's a
that
it's
is
a
all of
nice ride.
Charlene. I grew up in Roseau. In
Okay.
the place where we lived was smaller than this.
Really?
So the place we
Well,
lived
what, the kitchen or the
was smaller
whole
than
apartment?
the whole apartment. There was the bedroom. Well, we had a bed. We had a little shelf that had the TV. There was a table under it. There was a chair there, so it was like a bedroom slash living room. There was a step down and there was a kitchen. But I was living in Roseau. You understand? I didn't have running water where we were living. I had to go by the neighbor to get water. I like so the tiny thing is not no.
It's not attractive to you.
No. I like while I don't need a mansion or I don't need
Who cleaned that?
because who cleaning it
Kenrick.
is always a factor like who cleaning all those rooms, not
I'm gonna
me.
pay somebody.
Like
Shoot.
so that is always but I need to move and not bounce into a person. I need to not, and it goes back to like me personally, I need to not always have somebody in my face all the time. So
That
we
can
can
happen
be
in a
in the
tiny home.
house together, we can be there together, but you can be over there and I can be there and I'll be okay. I'm not saying there are not times when the two of us can be there, you know.
What if you're in the
But
same space but the person not uttering much words?
that can work as well.
Okay.
But you see that
Or
if I move, so you there, and if I move, like I need to not.
You need to feel alone sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
yeah, man. I think that is healthy for human existence.
So because of that,
very.
the tiny you
Because-
and me confined in a small space all the time,
Because you have to question yourself sometimes too.
it's not gonna work.
You have to ask yourself, what I just do there, boy? That making sense?
Yes.
Like, sometimes you have to question yourself.
Like I need to have conversations with myself.
You need space.
Sometimes I just want to poop and you not smell the flavor of my fart.
And
Like,
but the Sharlyne
Why your
inside
smell of a foam is a flavor?
disgusting. It's a flavor.
don't judge my lifestyle, Kenrick.
Garbage is
Huh?
a flavor.
Don't judge me.
Garbage is a flavor.
I'll judge
You know?
you.
But like again, the tiny homes I think is more suited for the big countries than small countries like Dominica.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
the amount of money you're going to spend, like in America, $500 can probably give you a tiny home.
Ah,
No. Well, maybe. Yes.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
You
Maybe is a big maybe.
Okay, you might okay, 5,000 US might give you a tiny home in America.
Yeah, probably. You can swing it, maybe.
You already have your tools and
Yeah.
some-
You know, in Dominica, that equivalent, if we would put in dollar for dollar, $5,000 in Dominica, though, you have to already have your piece of land, and you probably have to be building on an existing structure.
But you know what that's more important now? I just flexed my lap and I seen like old age on my lap. What that? That's not right.
What that mean?
I seen some kind of mark, like lines,
Wrinkles.
wrinkles.
On your lap?
I love how we
Ish.
went from tiny
Adjacent.
homes to old age on his laps. So if you flex your legs, guys, you might see some wrinkles on your legs. In Kenrick's mind, that is old age. It's not the gray hairs, it's the wrinkles on your lap.
You know the problem, really?
The gray hairs. No, listen, I have gray hairs, it's problematic.
Huh?
I have gray hairs and it's problematic.
Where?
I have
Well, I
gray
mean, on your head, right? I don't mean to ask you where.
I have gray hairs on my head and it's problematic. Like I'm trying to not pay attention to Kenrick.
I
have
know. It's
my
hard.
head and it's problematic. Like I have a lot of gray hairs and it's problematic.
Never a lot. Imagine I have some gray hair on my. I just pull out some of them. Eh?
I just pull them out, and then when I pull them out, like 5 of them just.
Why
pop
you
up
look like you get so
because of the one
serious?
place.
What's
Me?
popping?
I just enjoyed all you. All
It
you
does
very
always, like,
entertaining.
Our exchanges is always.
It does.
interesting.
It's like Netflix to me, honestly. Like I
Anyway.
would watch this sitcom.
Talking about Netflix, I love that. I love that. Like, it
Please don't tell
brings
me you're going to do Bridgerton. If you do Bridgerton,
I really am. Like,
I feel like a douche because I don't like their faces.
okay,
I'm affected by
So
the
there's
fact
the
that a
show
basic white girl getting a handsome black
she
because
really is basic.
that's
But
what happens all the time and it's
Did you-
triggering.
hold on. The Duke not all that either.
I
If
don't. Okay, so it's not me.
we're honest.
It's not
The
just
Duke
me.
Not all that. It's not
I
just.
don't
you.
like his face.
Like I have seen some much finer guys.
What are you
in
talking
real- Hold
about?
on, Kenrick. Let's just have this moment.
Okay,
and we'll
do
include you.
it. I do it.
I've seen some much finer guys in real life. I've dated some much finer guys in real life.
I
so
mean, he's fine. I just don't find him attractive.
anything for me like that. But here's what it is. Bridgerton is a show on Netflix. It's a period piece.
What?
It is a period. Okay, so
Not menstruation. Like it's set in the like royal old England. Is England?
Old setting.
yes, like
old setting.
it's like a Regency romance.
Regency.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like kingdom royalty.
Are you trying talk basic girl? Fix yourself. Go ahead.
Okay. So it is set in old England when titles and you had to be a certain way and present yourself a certain that type of thing. It's not for everybody,
I'm
But
glad you bring that up,
no, it's not.
Me
It's
too,
not for
because
everybody.
I have a question on that. I have a
Ask your
question
question.
close to that.
Ask a question.
I'll put the dress too far away because I wanted to know what you guys think about what Caribbean formal dressing should look like. But we can go to that and
We'll go back
maybe
to that
later
afterwards.
after.
So here is, if you haven't watched Bridgerton, like again, Bridgerton is not for everybody. But I'm a romantic at heart, and I love reading Regency romances. So it's always like, oh my God, look at this. Set in old England. There's the conversation that there's not enough black actors. The main characters, they're
all
black,
light
but a couple
skin.
of them can pass for more light skinned, biracial than black.
Yeah.
What is the whole deal about being black?
It's
It's a deep conversation for a lot
It's
of
a
people.
deep
I
conversation.
know.
And
I mean,
wanting
I've
to
seen
see
conversations
and
where
wanting
artists checking, getting artists but
representation,
actors getting
right? That all of
support
that,
and recognition, especially in these awards.
right? So
Yeah.
all of that. Again, as I said, it's not for everybody. The gist of Bridgerton is this: this chick comes from a well-to-do family, and she has Luke Kenrick making brick with Jade. Jade and Kenrick flirting via Zoom. I
vex?
cannot with these people. But anyway,
You vex, man.
I am,
Why?
like, because why flirting with? I don't know what to flirt for you.
When you, as if she so doesn't go home right after the podcast. You see this speech she
Josh.
just sit there.
Josh, you are missing.
The thing is, yes, I just go right, but long distance and
But we
when
long
I
distance
available,
too.
you're not available, and so anyway,
Oh,
Bridgerton.
anyway, Sharlyne, that aloe plant. How do you plant aloe? Remember to remind me. Okay, let's go. Move forward.
How do I plant aloe?
You haven't got aloes by you?
Yes.
As if I take aloes by you.
Yes.
I want to know how to plant it. Okay, let's go. Sorry.
I'll just take aloes by my father and put it by me.
Just put it by
Dog,
you.
just put it. I'm a farmer then. I'm not a farmer.
Okay. What are we talking about? So wait. So
Bridgerton.
Aloes.
No, I want to hear Sharlyne take
Okay.
on Bridgerton.
So here's
why is that? What's that?
the same Netflix show,
Okay.
and the Duke is black. The
The
other
Duke is
girl
black.
is white.
The girl, but Bridgerton is like, it's a family, it's a well-to-do family. They have their name. So at a certain age in this story, it's like you're supposed to be married off by a certain age. If like you go over 20 and you're not married, it's considered something wrong with you. You're a spinster, you this, you that, whatever. So this girl, let me try to put it in settings, in like,
Try not to give spoilers. Okay, that's some people who might not
that
have
is their
watched it yet.
business, because it has been
It's
out
not their
long enough.
Ah,
It's their
you
business.
don't even have 3 months since
Okay,
it's
so you are making them know about it now.
Okay, spoiler alert.
Right,
Wait,
right.
So okay,
No,
so
you have
so
to
this
give the
is
spoiler
I'm
alert.
going to
Pause.
try to pause. I'm going to try to put it as colloquially as possible.
Body.
Right? So Bridgerton. Is this young chick from a well-to-do family, and she probably just turned 16, and they had a big coming out party for
Wait, she
all
was
the
just 16?
because a lot of it is like around that age, like 16, 17, 18. Okay, let's say 18. Let's say 18.
Whoa.
And it have a big party for all the other young ladies of age, right? And then like you have royalty there, the queen there, and the queen have to say who she favors. So the queen choose this chick. Pretty good. Well, she not all that, because I've seen prettier girls, but she figure that chick standing out, and that chick have her favor, and that chick is like the baddest. That is the baddest chick there. She's like,
beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
right.
Trust
so
me,
she's
it wasn't
like,
in my eyes.
so she's like Laurie Harvey, because
I
everybody
want
wants Laurie Harvey,
I
right?
want to know why,
Right.
because I really don't see the
Yeah. So she's like,
Who is Laurie Harvey?
damn
Harvey
it,
daughter.
damn it.
Steve Harvey,
Okay.
Dottie?
Okay,
Daughter?
stop.
Yes.
Okay, so she's like,
No, I know her, but I need to know her face. I don't know who she is.
Okay, I'll send you a picture.
okay, so she's like,
Sorry.
okay, she's a fic shabbing.
Vic Shabin?
Yes.
Who,
because
Laurie?
no,
Oh,
the
Steve Harvey
the
making
chick,
a shit-
The ideal,
Bridgerton, dog, Bridgerton. The chick is
the idealized.
the idealized, like, yes, she Let's talk about something else. Kenrick exhausting me.
No, I was laughing.
She's like, so now she at the age where she have to make a good marriage, get a good man and whatever, and all that pressure on her. Now that is all she is for, to be the missus. So they throw a party and she there and whatever. And while she there, she run into a partner. Quite by accident. But everybody know that is the man. Like that is the big man on campus. You understand? That is
That is the idea.
The Django.
that is the partner to be with. If you want a man,
He's the bachelor.
You have me, yes, he have everything going for him. So if you want a man, you pick him. But she meets him and she don't know who he is. So she just like, but dog, why you up in my face? And he's like, so you really don't know who I am then? She's like,
ask about me.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's like, but I really don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Come and talk roll, da. She find out who he is and she's like, oh, okay. No, she find herself in a position where another partner walk up on her and try to make it seem like it's me and you. But she don't really like the partner. So she figure out that don't making sense. So she meet back the big homie and they pull up because she want to choose who she ends up with.
Yeah.
But if she associated with the big homie, she will have a better chance of choosing a good man for her.
Okay.
Right? So the two of them, they sit down, okay. He's like, I don't really want to get married, and she's like, I don't mind getting married, but I want to be able to choose who I getting married to. So they're like, okay, let's pretend we're together now. And that will give me a way to bring up my options.
Oh,
that will give her a way to, yes, to like have
a desirability.
Choose, get better men to pay attention to her because the big homie paying attention to her. So after the big homie, we'd have
so basically she's Laurie Harvey.
Right. So you have to meet up to his standard but in the time they end up having feelings for one another. So when me telling her, listen, I like you, it's because I like you, I can't marry you. Pure fuckboy move. Like fuckboy 101. I like you, but I can't be with you. I can't be with you because I like you so much. I can't even be with you.
What's fuckboy about? What did he say?
I like you. That is why I cannot be with you. It's because I like you. I cannot be with you. I protecting you.
Yeah, because maybe he had somebody.
No, he didn't have anybody. He have his own trauma.
Okay.
But in all that time, they vibing and he low-key falling for her. She low-key falling for him. Now, we have a scene in that where she rape him.
She rape him?
Yes, she rape him. And everybody glossing over it, but she rape him. Because they end up together. Right?
After she rape him?
No.
Before she rape him?
Before. Okay. Because either you can't have sex before you're married or you'll be ruined. You can't kiss a man. Now, these people will get into relationships.
So basically, permission.
Basically,
gospel mission.
Yeah. So we married, but we can't even kiss before we married.
Yep.
Because if we kiss and somebody find out we kiss, I automatically have to marry you. That is the setting. That don't make
so if you engage and you kiss somebody and you
you're not even
you're already automatically going to marry them.
No, anyways. But the way it's set up, where even before you engage, if you kiss me, you rude me, you spoil me for another man.
What about a kiss violating your whole your human?
Plenty thing. How you can stick your tongue in me and just decide you sticking your tongue in me in my mouth and just leaving me like that? That don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But anyway, imagine a whole prince. So like a whole prince was interested in the girl, but the girl decides the big homie she wants.
What you
want. But he end up falling for her and they end up together. But he kind of fucked up in the head. He had his own trauma that he dealing with and they going at it, but he's pull out game on 100 because he don't want to have children. She rape him. She rape him with the hopes of getting pregnant, and we can gloss over it all we want.
You know why? Because plenty of women that do the same thing. So
right, because what she do is
lock him, man.
Right, because normally he takes control of the situation. When he feel he coming, he pulling out. but she was riding him.
Lockjaw.
So it don't have no, and everybody's like, oh, I'll do the same thing, but that was rape. If we get it, you okay? You done? If we getting mad when if we say men pulling out the condom before they come is rape.
Wait, Paul. Men pull out the condom before they...
Without your
yes,
consent.
okay.
Without your consent. If we say that is rape, she trying to get pregnant knowing full well the man didn't want to. And the man telling her, stop, what are you doing? Get off me. And she stay on him. That's rape. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. But they beat all the odds and they end up together and they have a child the end.
Wait, those same people there?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I feel like the whole premise of that show is toxic.
Married to the one that raped him?
Yeah. But she raped him while they were married.
Okay, let me tell you why I have a problem with that series.
Okay.
I feel like it strengthens an issue that a lot of women have and a lot of men have with women. Women sometimes, I am guilty too, are almost incapable of taking accountability for their toxic ways. Like if a man was to do that same thing, he trapper.
Everybody would be up in arms.
Hey,
and
it's
like, I think to really understand what I'm saying, you have to watch it. But again, as I say, it's not for everybody. But it just brings me back like to women as general human beings. We just forgive what we want to forgive. We can explain.
We just often forgive what we're guilty of too.
Yeah, we can justify. Because if your boyfriend tell you, Jade, I don't want to have children. If Kenrick says, Jade, I don't want to have children.
What I can do is get a man that wants children.
You and Kenrick having unprotected sex.
You check?
But you do. Whether it's afterwards, you take this sperm and insert it in you, whatever it is.
That's just criminal.
For you to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Then you take like you disrespecting Kenrick because Kenrick let you know from the jump.
It's not disrespecting. That's
violated him.
You know what a
no, we just get vexed when men do it to women, but we just try to look the other way when women do it to men. But it's the same thing.
That's wrong. It's wrong.
And it just goes to show. And while I am like two things can be true at the same time. So you can watch something and just enjoy it and take it for what it is. But at the same time, when you know better, when you watch certain things, you're just kind of like, damn, that's messed up.
Yeah.
And I find it so funny. Not funny, haha, but funny, strange, that in a time where everybody's talking about the Me Too movement and feminism and sexual rights and all of that, that something like that, we like...
That is everything everybody talking. I want you to burn for me. What?
It seems so small, but it isn't, because the ramifications, and like they show it like, okay, while he had said no, he really wasn't. He was probably really looking forward to her getting pregnant.
But that perpetuating the idea that women feel like men don't know what they read that good for them.
Exactly.
And they have to. I'm like, if a man tell you he wants or he don't want something, he don't want it.
He don't want it. And it just goes to show we excuse what we think. Like, take for instance you. Take how obsessive Joe was. But
true.
We like Joe was a stalker, but we explain it away because
a murderer.
At the end of the day, and a murderer.
Is a series called You, and I feel like you need to watch it.
Different series, you need to watch it.
The next one,
you need to watch that one.
You,
yes. YOU.
I would like watching that one.
Yes,
but it just goes to show when it's portrayed a certain way, we excuse certain behaviors because at the end of the day, we think the ends justify the means.
I am confused as to why certain things are so popular.
Because we like the toxicity of it all.
Yeah, Bridgerton was problematic for me. I could not get into it because one, I felt like it was just perpetuating the same false Disney type of things that have women thinking a certain way and invalidating the desires and the feelings of men. Like they just make you feel like you know better, and once you have the child, then you know. Or
But
once you do what he
even
don't want you to
beyond
do, he'll
that,
come around. I'm like,
even
no,
beyond
come on,
that,
man.
even beyond just that aspect, um, one of the reasons why a lot of people had a problem with Bridgerton is it perpetuates the same conversations that we keep having about patriarchy and misogyny. Because
Yeah,
one of the characters, the brother, wanted to pick out who his sister should get married while he was married to, while he was like having the time of his life with a woman that by all accounts and purposes, all intents and purposes, he shouldn't have been with because she would not have made a good wife. But he wanted to tell his sister, oh, that man had money and whatever, whatever. So automatically he makes him a good husband. And that is what like and that is what happens. Like generally, men want to society has made it that men go out and do whatever and but they only value women when and sometimes not even then, but they only value women when they can say that's my sister or that's my daughter.
I
But
was
you're out
thinking
here
about that
hoeing.
today.
You out here hoeing with a man's daughter. You know what I mean? Like you put in a man's daughter in a compromising position. So
Dick,
what makes that man's daughter less valuable? Or what makes your sister or your daughter more valuable than that man's sister and or daughter?
dick,
Yeah. The devil. But so it does
delete.
that.
I will.
But when you remember
Sorry
the
for messing up
time it
your
was supposed to be set
thing.
in and all of that, then you understand because we're
Yeah,
trying to apply present day thinking to 14th, 15th century livelihood.
Hmm.
yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work. But back in the day, they would see nothing wrong with that.
I'll drive you home, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm drinking more.
So it's a funny, we like certain things presented to us, and it's like, oh my god, yes, yes, yes. But then we have all these think pieces, and we realize, what we thought we wanted when it really plays out in front of you is not really as
As
good as
glamorous.
it seems, or we're like, well, maybe it's not as bad as it seems because if that man can kill 10 people to be with me, then that means he loves me.
Hmm.
I
So
can
can
overlook
I
the fact
want
that
to
he's a murderer.
I want to know for real from Kenrick. Like I see a lot of things. I've been on Twitter lately. I've been listening to conversations. I want to ask a man, do you really think that in relationships women avoid accountability generally?
The man in the romance.
Like they how should I frame it? Does it appear to men that women cannot see their part in creating a negative situation?
What you want?
Answer the question first.
Depends. I believe
Because
most I believe most men are smart enough to realize that every situation is different. So I think it's difficult to give that answer, like to give a firm answer as to that's what it is.
I don't want a firm answer, I just want your opinion.
Yeah, like you don't need to be politically correct. You can be like, yes, it's true.
I give you
Like
my
like
real answer.
the evolved Kenrick, like
Kenrick
sometimes
is
I wish
when I tell you Kenrick not judgmental, it's true. Like Kenrick don't like
sometimes
to
I wish we had someone that was a little toxic.
Who
Like
was the toxic girl?
yes. Okay, here's what to answer Jade's question from a male perspective.
Whoa.
Kenrick, you far from your mic, we? I hear you far.
Yeah.
I scare Kendrick a little bit, but from a male, like even as a okay, not female, but as a woman, we don't always accept accountability for our
Let me
actions.
tell you about it.
We always we always try to twist it or justify our behaviors.
But that happened in both ways. That's what happened
Yes,
in both ways. I can't.
but as a woman,
We cannot we I think we struggle in saying I hear men say women struggle to apologize and we struggle in accepting that we
wrong.
can be wrong too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we just feel if the man wrong, then is he all wrong? Like
You
we
are
didn't do
wrong.
nothing wrong at all.
And it's
I
certain
love, I
things
love.
there, like we just make joke, like you see certain things as jokes on social media, but there's always some truth behind it. You understand? Like it's like we argued and this guy making some good points. What do I
What do I
do?
do? Yes, that too is
Cry.
there.
Bring up some shit
Crisis.
he did when he was wrong.
Yeah. The
Change the
advice
topic.
girls was giving him,
Okay.
giving the girl, because the girl checking she
And
arguing
I
and the boy
can
making sense. What
right.
to do.
And I
Yeah,
can
I do
laugh
a
at
drama.
it and still see where like all
Is the
those things
truth.
is things we do for true.
Say it again.
So imagine, okay, so you and Jade having an argument, but you making valid points,
And I
and Jade
realizing you're
making
right.
valid points, but Jade don't want to tell you you're right. So what does Jade do?
And
She
the
starts to
advice
cry.
was
Cry.
Cry.
cry,
Like if she start to cry, you'll forget about it, or you
bring
she'll
up
bring
shizzy
up
do
a time
before.
where you was wrong.
Yeah. Basically, we do like to fail.
Right.
Yeah.
Twist it on you and that type of a thing
Yeah.
because women always like to feel that they're right. And it hurts when men can view things logically and you in your emotions. Like, let me be in my feelings. Sometimes we just like to be in our feelings and we just get vexed because when you take away, when you put the logic in the situation, then I wrong. When I can take
And
a step back from my feelings at the time and be like, boy, what can I say there is true? And then I get in all vexed again because like, wow, I really overreacted.
I have a question. Do you think, because I know that is that is not always the case in our situation. And I don't think that's the case in your situation either. Because you're a grown ass woman.
My situation?
I don't think you don't, well, I'm not there, but you don't strike
I
me as
know
the
who to be.
person.
I know who to be a grown ass woman with.
No, what I mean is you with whoever you with no. I
Hmm.
don't think you in that
Hey,
mental
babe.
space. Shout out to you, bro. I don't think you're in the mental space to disregard his correctness in a situation. Like totally. Maybe in the moment, in the heat of the moment, you might be in your feelings or whatever. But I don't think you're not grown enough to say, you know what, you were right about that. Do you think
Okay.
that the women who do that is out of insecurity because they only bring sex to the table? Or they don't feel like they're bringing more to the table than just that? So if they lose their seat on the throne per se, like if the man is right,
Hmm.
it means that he have the upper hand.
Okay. I will start by saying this. I think a lot of times a lot of things on social media should be taken with a grain of salt because there are a lot
Yeah.
of things people say just for clout.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I mean, just to it's the same niggas ain't shit, but you lying down under your man while you posting that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like so there's that. Um some guy said a few pods back, we know who we can be certain ways with. And we know which relationship we value enough to take a step back and be like, yo, what he's saying is true. You know, like we know when we want to be heard and seen, and we know when to take a step back.
Hmm.
Um, based on the value we placed on that person, on that relationship. So we know who we're going to do it for.
True.
Um, I try my best, not always, because when I upset, like you have to mean a lot to me for me to like take a step back and just be mindful of what I see. Because even if my daughter does sleep, I just be like, "Ugh," and I have to bite my tongue. I'm like, okay, no, Sharlyne, stop. So because of that, I'm always just trying to be aware of what I see.
While you while
Because
you while.
me?
Yeah.
Because in the moment when you're angry, like I don't find that, but my friends will say otherwise. Um, so because of that, I always just try to be mindful of what I say because Sticks and stones break my bones. Words cannot. That's a lie. Words hurt. Like
Yeah, man.
words.
Me
Words do
particularly,
more
it's
than hurt.
best you beat
Words,
me.
words, words can change. Words
Words
can change your
hurt.
whole future.
Yeah.
And
Your entire future can change.
because like I think of myself as emotionally aware. So I try my best to just be mindful of what I say. At the same time, I'm human. So sometimes I might get it wrong. But like 80% of the time, I was just trying to be like, make sure what I say is what I want the person to hear. I don't always succeed. And again, based on the relationship, based on the value I ascribe to that person, I will try harder.
But you see, when I vex, you see the council meeting you just have in yourself to tell yourself what to say, what not to
He
say.
doesn't do that.
I just miss that meeting.
I don't show up for that
What you
meeting.
asking for? You point in.
But
There's
I
no.
will say though, Kenrick, you being hard on yourself.
Huh?
You've been you I feel have been doing a lot better than I know you when I first meet you.
Oh God.
In you don't maybe you just miss the meeting but you just be outside. No.
Hmm?
Maybe you doesn't go inside the meeting, but you just be outside and you just hear a few things now.
The
I
meeting
feel.
they showed my face where you can see I am in the meeting.
But let me ask all you that, like, Kenrick teach me something and I take it to heart. Kenrick always tell me whatever you say is that. What happened?
It's a Kendrick sitting and be like, what again? I teach Jade. Kendrick expression is like, when I teach her.
I was thinking what you said.
No, it's something he always tell me. He's like,
Okay,
if
okay.
he tell me, but Jade, you don't have to do that, I'd be like, or he tell me, Jade, try that, and I'd be like, Kenrick, I just can't do that. He's like, well, yeah, if you say is that, and and I applying that to so many things now because we have a thing we like to say, like, if I vex, don't do this. Obviously, because you tell yourself that is the rule you give yourself, that is the permission you give yourself. When I vex,
That's what
I gonna
happened.
not say anything.
Yeah.
But why are we so married? And today I was feeding my spirit. Why are we so married to certain things that are limiting to us? Why do we put ourselves in this box where I'm
Because
the
we
kind
want
of
to feel how
person?
we feel in the moment.
Yeah, but why?
It's easy to be stagnant because you're just being still.
But what
Because
if there's a
anything
different
outside
way?
of
Like,
To not grow
because
is very easy to not grow.
right, because anything outside of that requires accountability. It requires you acknowledging that your way of dealing with that is wrong in the first place.
okay, so but what is the fear? What okay, accountability, it uncomfortable, but it's not going to hurt you. Like
Well,
I
here's
feel
the
we
thing,
have this
Jade.
boogie monster
No,
in
but
our
here's the
head.
thing. No, because we're in a better place, we can say that. No, accountability requires going deep because then you have to wonder what triggered that, what causes you to react from that place.
Yeah.
And you have to go. Remember what I said at the start? We walking around with trauma that we don't even
And I
know.
wanted to talk about that too. But
So
we
it
walk,
goes back
but
to
even
that.
that is a choice.
No,
Even
not
oh,
not always.
because I don't think
Because
we are married to our triggers.
is okay, yeah, some of us like to play victim, but not many of us sit with ourselves enough to even have those conversations. We find ways to run from the stuff we're supposed to be dealing with. You understand? Like even as enlightened as I may appear when we have these conversations,
Mm-hmm.
I find ways to run from it. And what happens is, okay, I go out with my friends and we get drunk, and I go home and I in my feelings when I get home. And
Oh,
in that moment, like I need so yes. So it's like it forces you when you don't want to face when you're dealing with demons and you don't want to face them, it's a hell of a thing.
But I feel like we
And
make it worse than it really,
sometimes it's
really
not
is,
even
though.
though want to know, is you don't know how to. Because again, when you think of therapy, you think of a crazy person. You understand? When you think of, because even earlier when I talk about like high school, primary school, and whatever, I'm realizing, okay, it really have, like I saying that and I know that, but have I really unpacked all of that? That is trauma I walking around with. And when you're mindful of that, is a lot to, okay, so now I know that, how am I going to deal with it? Because it's not just knowing, it's addressing as well.
What do you say to someone that is so what do you say to someone that is so busy with their like everyday life and not have enough not making enough time to address certain character things about themselves, like character flaws or character or good things about their character that they can amplify. Like, what do you
But
tell
I would
people that
ask them.
feel
I would ask them,
fulfilled
why don't
but
you
they're
think
too
you're
busy?
worth your own time?
What is that?
I'd ask them, why you don't think you worth your own time?
Well, what if they
it's
tell you
not,
it's
it's
easy? It's
not,
easy for you to say that, but what if you tell me that and know that I have 4 children and
where
four
do I get the
jobs,
chance?
and those four
When do I get
jobs,
the time?
yeah, those 4 jobs enough to pay my bills and to make us eat, and I just have to keep on doing that. And
I would ask
I
them if they're on Facebook.
if they're on Facebook,
Yeah. Are you on Instagram? Are you on Facebook?
no,
So they're not on Facebook. They doesn't do nothing except work and feed their children.
But
yes,
here's the thing, that in
it's
itself,
sounding weird, but
that hyper independence, that always on the go, 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 that in itself is a trauma response.
Yep.
That in itself stems from at one point in time feeling like you're not doing enough. And with COVID, while a lot of people were forced to slow down, it also made a lot of people question what they were doing with their lives. So it didn't make them slow down the way they were supposed to. Instead, they became more hyper. Like, I need to do X, Y, and Z. But that stems from not feeling like you're doing enough. And why do you feel like you're not doing enough? Are you comparing it to somebody else's enough? Is it just what you said for yourself? Is it so all those things originate from somewhere else? Are you compared you're not doing enough? Because I have those feelings as well. Like, because social media is a balm and a drug. You know, it's a medicine and it's a drug. And it's like what you put in, you like, it's not even always what you put in you get out. You see people and you see their lives and you're like, damn, she's 25 and she's doing all that, and look at me, 10 years older than her, what I have to show for it? And because of that, you put yourself in a position where like you want to own a business, because everybody have business, but you in yourself never wanted to have a business. But because you see other people doing it, you feeling like not doing it, making you feel like something
Yeah, and
missing.
I feel it's not everybody meant. And I really wish they would stop pressuring people into becoming
Exactly. Because
entrepreneurs. If you don't want to, it's gonna make you
listen,
miserable.
I don't think I have, like, I don't know if I want to own my own business. And I've always said this. The responsibility associated with owning your own business, it never stops.
And I know some people who are like that, and that's fine.
But
They
like
can
for
be
me,
successful otherwise.
right. Like for me, I don't mind an 8 to 5 because somebody else is responsible for me getting paid. I come, I show up, I do what I have to do, I leave. But for a long time, and even now, I still feel, because sometimes the 8 to 5 doesn't cut it. So of course you're going to look for something else. But the way some people make you feel like if you're not doing something else, if you're not doing something else with your life, like why didn't it to always be? Like why not sometimes just take a step back?
The
Why
people
do you
that
need to
are
always
telling
ask
you that,
what
ask
you're
them if
running
they're
from?
happy.
That, what are you running from? So even those things come from, sometimes it comes from a place of trauma, and we don't realize that. But for you to realize that, you have to sit, like, what is your why?
And that's the thing.